So the trick is, you're at a creek and you're looking for rocks, you gotta wait. You gotta wait, you gotta wait and watch. Be real patient. Be real patient. Wait till you can see the whites of their eyes. And then bam! And you grab it right out of the water, just like that. Whoa! Hey there, rock stars. We're here at Cataract Falls in Marin County, California, checking out some awesome creeks today. Let's check it out and see what rocks we can find. Come on. Hey there, rock stars. Today's video was a user-submitted suggestion a while back from one of my followers, Eats Too Much Rice, so that I check out a Marin creek and just do a little creek walk, which I think is totally awesome, and I wanted to say thanks so much for that recommendation, because creek walking is awesome and a great way to check out local geology. You're walking around, you're looking at rocks, you got rocks over here, you got rocks over there. There's rocks all over the place, and they're all kinds of different rocks. You got so many rocks. You got big rocks and small rocks and all kinds of different colors. And so I think we should just take a walk around the creek, take a look at some cool rocks, and I can show you what you're looking at. It'll be totally awesome. Let's check it out. So the trick is, you're at a creek and you're looking for rocks, you gotta wait. You gotta wait, you gotta wait and watch. Be real patient. Be real patient. Wait till you can see the whites of their eyes. And then bam! And you grab it right out of the water, just like that. Whoa! Look at this, we got a butte right here. Look at this rock, this is great. Great little specimen right here. And this, right here, so the first thing you do when you pull a rock out of the wild is we gotta determine what kind of rock this is. And the easiest thing to determine is if it's a sedimentary rock, an igneous rock, or a metamorphic rock. And you look here, we gotta take a real close look. We're gonna take a real close look at this rock and try and figure out, what do we see? Do we see grains in this rock? If there are grains in this rock, something that looks grainy, then it's probably a sedimentary rock. If you look real closely, it looks like it does have tiny little grains in it. Tiny little grains. Super cool. In a sedimentary rock, the grains are going to be formed from different pieces and sediments that have just been compacted together. You take a close enough look at this rock, it's made up of tiny little pieces of what looks like sand. If you took sand in the playground or sand out of a sandbox and just squished and smushed it together, and it formed a big solid chunk. That's what this looks like. Most likely is a sandstone, which is a sedimentary rock. Check that out. Ha, there you go. That's a pretty cool little guy. He's a pretty great one, but you gotta remember, if you're looking at rocks in the wild, you gotta put them back where you found them. All right. I got some live ones. Oh shoot. Whew. All right. Best part about Northern California geology is that you can have all different kinds of rocks in one spot like this. The creeks erode the way of the rocks, rounds them out, makes them easier to find, and then we can take a look from there. See here, I've got a little smattering of all the big major kinds of rocks right here. Right here. Look at that. Look at this rock. Now this is a sedimentary rock, a sandstone. It is made up of tiny little grains of sand, which are basically just tiny crushed up rocks. You want to take a really close look when looking at rocks like these, sandstones, because it's gonna look like tiny little pieces of sand. If you take sand from a playground or sand from the desert and just squished it into a rock, that's exactly what it's gonna look like. Right, just like that, there. Now, it gets kind of tricky though, because there are other rocks that have grains, like sedimentary rocks do. This rock here is an intrusive igneous rock. Intrusive, meaning that it cooled inside the earth. So it cooled deep underground and formed crystal grains. It's not the same like a sedimentary rock grain, because the grains aren't made up of rocks, the grains are made up of crystals. Each one of those different grains is a crystal, its own little individual crystal. This next one is also an igneous rock, meaning that it formed from a liquid state. But this one's a little different. You can't really see any kinds of grains in this rock at all. There's no grains, or at least none that you can see. The grain size in this rock is microscopic because it's an extrusive igneous rock. Extrusive, meaning that it formed externally from the earth, on the outside of the earth, just out in the open air. And because the open air is much cooler than most of the internal temperature of the earth, it cooled really quickly, and the crystals didn't have a lot of time to form. That's how you know you're looking at an extrusive igneous rock. Now, this last one is really weird. Take a look. You've got a bunch of different rock grains all smashed together, and you've got like one big grain here and a bunch of other smaller grains, and it looks like somebody just took a bunch of rocks and just kind of smushed them and squished them together. And it's kind of tricky, it kind of fools you, makes you think that you're looking at a sedimentary rock, but you aren't, not anymore. This started out as a sedimentary rock, but got squished and pressed so much that it's actually formed into a different kind of rock, a metamorphic rock. And when you see rocks that look a little weird, a little squished or pressed or elongated or completely altered, that's when you know you're looking at a metamorphic rock. Yeah, those are the three main types of rocks: sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic, that you can run into while out creeking. And with spring upon us and summer fast approaching, rock stars, I urge you, implore you, go out creeking, check out some cool rocks. Just be careful, don't step in the water, especially if you're in a national park, if you're in a state park as well. There's a lot of very sensitive species, especially around streams like this, that are very sensitive if you're going to be stepping and tromping around. But feel free, if you're going to pick up some rocks and take a look, feel free to take a look there. You can't quite collect in state parks or in national parks if you want to take some rocks home, but it's really great just to go out looking for some cool rocks. If you have a local creek though that's a little closer to your home, you can absolutely collect from there. It'll probably be totally fine. It's important though to check and just make sure, especially if you have you know, your city's website or local authorities you can contact, just to really double check and make sure that it's okay before you just pick up and start collecting rocks. Yeah, but you know, go outside, check it out, and let me know if you see anything cool out there, rock stars. Thanks so much for watching the video, and you know, I'll catch you next time. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.